We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too. All these foods are good for you.
Welcome to Storytime Cooks, where we learn about food through books. Today we're reading All the Places to Love by Patricia McLachlan, paintings by Mike Wimmer. And that is a beautiful painting on the front of this book, looking out over the field. Let's see what's going to happen. On the day I was born, my grandmother wrapped me in a blanket made from the wool of her sheep. She held me up in the open window so that what I heard first was the wind, and what I saw first were all the places to love. The valley, the river falling down over rocks, the hilltop where the blueberries grow. And there is the grandma holding the baby. My grandfather was painting the barn, and when he saw me, he cried. He carved my name, Eli, on a rafter beside his name, and my grandmother's name, and the names of my papa and my mama. Mama carried me on her shoulders before I could walk. Through the meadows and the hayfields, the cows watched us and the sheep scattered. The dogs ran ahead looking back with sly smiles. When the grass was high, only their tails showed. All those pretty flowers growing. Looks like a really peaceful place to be. When I was older, Papa and I plowed the fields. Where else is soil so sweet, he said. Once Papa and I lay down in the field, holding hands, and the birds surrounded us. Black grackles, red wings, crows in the dirt that swaggered like pirates. When we left, Papa put a handful of dirt in his pocket, and I did too. They live in a special place, don't they? My grandmother loved the river best of all the places to love. The sand, the sound like a whisper, she said, gathering in pools, where trouts flashed like jewels in the sunlight. Grandmother sailed little bark boats down the river to me with messages. I love you, Eli, one said. And there's the message on the boat that Grandma sailed down the river. We would jump from rock to rock across the river to where the woods began, where the bunchberries grew under the pine needle path and trillium bloomed. Under the beech tree was a soft round bed where a deer had slept. The bed was warm when I touched it. That meant the deer had been there just a few minutes ago. When spring rains came and the meadows turned to marsh, cattails stood like gourds and killdeer called, ducks nestled by marsh marigolds, and the old turtle, his shell all worn, no matter how slow, still surprised me. And there is the turtle. Sometimes we climbed to the place Mama loved best, with our blueberry buckets and a chair for my grandmother, to the blueberry barren where no trees grew, the sky an arm's length away, where marsh hawks skimmed over the land and the bears came to eat fruit, and wild turkeys left footprints for us to find, like messages. Where else, said my mama, can I see the sun rise on one side and the sunset on the other? And they have buckets of blueberries that they picked. My grandfather's barn is sweet-smelling and dark and cool. Leather harnesses hang like paintings against old wood, and hay dust floats like gold in the air. Grandfather once lived in the city, and he once lived by the sea, but the barn is the place he loves the most. Where else, he says, can the soft sound of cows chewing make all the difference in the world? Today we wait, him sitting on a wooden slat chair and me on the hay, until much later. My grandmother holds up a small bundle in the open window, wrapped in a blanket made from the wool of her sheep, and my grandfather cries. Together, we carved the name Sylvie in the rafter, beside the name of grandfather and grandmother and my mama and papa and me, because my sister is born. Someday I might live in the city, and someday I might live by the sea. But soon I will carry Sylvie on my shoulders through the field. I will send her messages downriver in small boats, and I will watch her at the top of the hill trying to touch the sky. I will show her my favorite place, the marsh, where the ducklings follow their mother like tiny tumbles of leaves. And he's showing her all the things that he likes most. All the places to love are here, I'll tell her, no matter where you may live. Where else, I will say, does an old turtle crossing the path make all the difference in the world? That's a sweet story, and we live in a special place too. And today, we're going to talk about those blueberries that they picked in our story. When we think of blue foods, there aren't actually very many. And if we flip our card over, we see blueberries. But the things that we see besides blueberries that are blue foods are blueberry muffins, blueberry yogurt, and blueberry pancakes or waffles. So they really just take the blueberries and add those to other foods that we would normally eat. So that might be something that you would like to do. Sprinkle some blueberries on your cereal, or maybe you just eat a handful of blueberries. I actually like frozen blueberries. So if you wash them and put them out on a cookie sheet and stick them in the freezer, you get yummy frozen treats, which are great for a summer day. So during June Dairy Month, you might try blueberries in your yogurt or blueberries on top of some ice cream, or have some milk with that blueberry muffin or that blueberry pancake or waffle. Remember, blueberries actually are in our fruit group, and then we have all those yummy dairy foods that we just talked about. Our cereal and our pancake or waffles and muffins all go in the grain group. We hope you'll get to enjoy some blueberries and maybe some of the beautiful scenery that you have around your home. Think about all those things that you love. And we hope that you'll come back next week and join us for another segment of Storytime Cooks as we continue to learn about food through books.
We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too. All these foods are good